Hey everybody, welcome back to another Slime Fun Survival Server episode here. I'm your host Boomer, and today I want to talk about the mental mistake I made by starting this project. On the last video, I tore apart the supporting base that was holding up the structure that we're standing on right now. Let's kind of look at that real fast here. So I tore all of it down. You can see where it was based off the shadow. I've repaired the floor damage throughout just about the entire base. And when I step back, sorry for I don't know why that's not showing. I've got my render distance at the 32 chunks, but anyways, I started stepping back and looking at this and I said, oh my gosh, I do not like how this base looks anymore. It really opened up. I kind of knew it already, and I was starting to try to restructure, reorganize. I've been working on this for a while, been working on that, and I just wasn't thrilled with it, but I was kind of like, okay, it's going to go in stages. And then I came out here and I just about had a conniption. First, I looked at this and go, how did I build this? 4 towers by 6 towers. What happened there? Why are they set back so much further than this? Now, there were other changes to this that were made, but clearly I didn't do it cleanly, right? And then we've got the materializers making the common golem heads and the genes randomly just kind of strewn apart like that. Now, this is okay. These are actually all creating level ones, and they were going to mirror each other, which is fine. But then why do I have this huge gap? When I laid all this out physically, I actually laid out physical rows of grabbers, pushers, and bridges to determine where everything was going to be. And yet somehow I made a change that left this major gap. All right. And so needlessly, it's further away than it needs to be. And then we look at it and say, okay, how clean is this in front? Why do I need all these bridges if it's just that, right? That should be mounted up against there somewhere. Same thing here. Look at this. This is connecting these two networks together. And what it's connecting is the golems and the genes, and they're connected over two. I should just be able to set the network big enough and make this one massive network and call it a day. Same thing over here. There used to be literally a few thousand materializers out here. Now this is kind of clean other than the sea lanterns not matching up right. This used to be almost 1,500, I think it was, or 1,200 tech gens out here at one point, minimized down to about 140. But again, there's this big gap. And then there's this. So one row going all the way down, and then a tiny little bit, and then 6 half columns. What's that about, Boomer? And then here, we got 2 more rows that aren't the same length. They're all different lengths. And then, oh my gosh, what did you build here? I don't even know where to start. I know why it's like that. I made enough so that it would be able to keep up with the core production from Supreme. So, for example, if I needed, X amount of pork chops, all of these are making what I need to keep 3 core of death production systems running. That's how much each of this all produces. But oh my gosh, could I make it any more but ugly? And so I got to figure about this. And then for now, I just kind of put all of my infinity panels on this power network. These are 2 separate power networks. I just put them all down like this to try to organize it. So in other words, I have a cluster like all of these. Why are these out so far? Why all these extra bridges? Maybe put it to the side so they're out of the way and not in the middle of the road. And then, oh my gosh, look what's going on in here. This storage unit has been demolished because of all the things I've pulled out of here. And I need to clean this up even more. And then there's this, which was completely full and has now been demolished down to this. And then I have crafters over here. I have 2 full walls of auto crafters over here that I just reorganized and still isn't right. Then I started redoing this and trying to minimize stuff and was working on cleaning it up some more, but it does not look friendly yet. And then there's this. This is these 2 like sections here Those were recently redone. This is what's left of the old system, but they don't line up, right? It's not what I'm capable of doing, and it's driving me nuts. And then there's these, right? Now, when the wall was there, they kind of made sense. They were put out of the way up against the wall. All the old manual basic machines from Core Slime Fun and Supreme, but I don't need any of them anymore. So I need to take all of that out. And then there's all these chests lying around. There's an AFK fish farm sitting here. I I got a shulker box with, I think, redstone stuff. The supplies to decorate the walls, which I never finished. I've got this railroad track that was used. I think I showed this room off. This is meant to be the slime frame trading room that I've not gotten any further in slime frame from because I've been working so much in Supreme and Crystame. Oh, and by the way, there's this wall here of Crystame Astoria crystals. And then there's a chronicler and I forgot what those are called, realization altar. So I literally, so here's what I was talking about when it kind of opened up a mind problem for me is that there's too much crap lying everywhere. And I think what I really need to do is clear out all these old manual machines, clear out some of these chests. Now, these are all the different cultivation plants. So instead of just leaving these here, I think what I need to do is find a room or a storage spot somewhere on the base because I'm not really doing any more cultivation cloches, right? It's just somewhere to store all these. And then over here, I have the chicken engineering. I have 2 sets of all the pocket chickens, all 64 available pocket chickens. So I need to find somewhere to put those. I have chests for the decorations of the walls. I have chests for, I don't even have a network set up for all this stuff, which I should. There's random chests here. What's in here? Oh my gosh, what's in here? Teller, okay, so that's from Slime Frame, but then there's boosted uranium, a seed plucker, and now some of my tools are now being stored in here. This is driving me crazy. What's in here? Oh my gosh, like 24 stacks of mob collectors, right? Which I'm not even using. I was going to EMC these just to recover the EMC. Stoneworks factories, mob tech collectors. I mean, come on. This is just, oh, is there another chest down here? Oh yeah, look at this. There's another chest. We have virtual gardens, what I needed to make pumpkins for the Iron Golem factory. There's signs everywhere. I'm just going OCD crazy. And so I'm trying to figure out where to start, right? What's the first major thing? Like there's tech gens back there. There's 2 stacks and piles of tech gens here. There's tech gens back here, although I've dropped it down to 4 from 20. There's tech gens over. You see what I'm saying? As crazy of a slime fun nut as I might be, this is one of the more disorganized bases I've ever built. And the more I sit with this, the more uncomfortable and unhappy I've become. And I need to find a way to get started because I've literally, since I put out that video, I've been wandering around the base and I've done this for about 2 hours so far and I've done nothing. I've done absolutely nothing because I think, okay, so if I move all the tech gens over here, right, then I got to move all this stuff, but this all needs to stay on this network. So then do I move it left to right over here next to the tech gens, put the other tech gens in, but then I got to bring all of these to make it more convenient. It should kind of like come over here. Now to clear up that hallway, I moved up the network workbenches, but it just seems like I'm falling behind. And I also want to determine, do I need all of these machines? So for example, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 112 tech gens making blaze rods, of which 23 are maxed out to the maximum speed production possible, where there are 2 level 9s, berserks, and 2 level 9 luckies, right? And I'm getting a huge excess of blaze rods now, blaze rods. So as they continue to max these out from the level 4s they're at, hopefully I can start pulling out stacks of 7 of these at a time. But again, see what I'm doing? I'm already going crazy digging into what will happen in the future instead of starting today. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start busting stuff out of the way, get chests out of the way, find a room to go put them in, whatever I've got to do. Maybe I'll go put them with the villagers just so I can go talk to them and say hi, get some of this stuff cleaned up, and then maybe that might help clear my head. Let's get started. So the good news is we're done. The floor's been patched up, all the chests have been busted, and as many things as I can get off the floor for now are gone. And it does feel like a little bit of a relief. It doesn't feel overwhelming. So what's next? Well, the next step, I believe, is going to have to move the Supreme Electric Core machines and the greedy blocks storing those items. To me, it makes sense to kind of move them over here, maybe line them up with this energy connector and go this way, and then move the storage blocks for those Supreme items over in front of it, maybe a few more blocks down. Then what I could do is take all the greedy blocks in here and attach it to the side of this, and that could solve that problem. Here's the challenge I've got is I would love to have all my autocrafters all on one network, but I can't because this is network number 3. All the autocrafters are on network number 2, and I can't just add them to the network because the items have to be achievable. In order to do that, they'll have to join a tower and switch from greedy blocks to quantum storages or a vanilla chest with 26 of the slots blocked, or maybe 25. I only need, for most of these, I only need another like 450 tech gens. It doesn't make much sense to turn these into 4K quantum storages when I'm not going to, that's all I need. Once that's it, that's it. There's no more tech gen machines needed. I'll have what I need. So it makes sense to keep these as greedy blocks and just create another storage unit over here. And that should resolve that problem. The autocrafters will have to stay on the network. And once the final remaining tech mutation chambers are done, almost all of these will no longer need to be autocrafted. As a matter of fact, I think every one of these, I'm just looking, I think every one of these could go away. I think it could be done with all of them because I won't have a need for them. Like I said, there's no plans to add additional tech gens. I've got the level 9 farm done for speed, almost done for cloning. And so everything in here, once the greedy blocks are full with 2 stacks of each, I'm going to simply take it all down. I'll put the auto-crafting blueprints in a storage unit somewhere and remove this, and that would be done. Now, we've got some things that we'll have to move over, and then we have a couple more Supreme items in here, but then we've got dyes that are being done simply because of the rainbow cultivation plan, I believe. And then we have the old Infinity expansion items. Most of these are not Infinity expansion 2. I think the only thing here that is a Magnanium. The rest of these are the old ones. And so we have to convert that, move it somewhere else. I still have over 20,000 Infinity ingots. I'm probably never going to use them, but I do want to set all this up so if the day ever comes that I need more, I can do it. I don't expect to ever do it, but it's okay to not set that up. Again, I may throw all of those into storage units that I don't need anymore. So we're going to move this, we're going to move this, and we're going to move all those. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it a night. It's about 10:30 at night for me. It's been a long day. I'm tired. I want to get a fresh start when I come back to this with a little bit more mind clarity, excuse me. See, I can't even speak. So I'm going to go to bed and I'll see you guys here tomorrow. All right, so it's been a few days and we got to work clearing some massive amounts of blocks. Just to give you an idea. So we cleared out the accelerator cloners for the type mutation chambers and all of the lucky cloners. So the accelerators cloners are all gone. The only reason this is still here is I'm still producing Supremes runs so that I can make the last few tech mutation chambers while I'm rebuilding stuff. So I want to let those continue to grow. So what have I done so far? We cleared out everything. I mean, everything else that could have been cleared out has been. They're in chests and storage waiting to go. We moved all of the tech chambers over, which you saw in a previous clip. Moved a number of the EMC materializers and cultivation over here. And this is going to get an overhaul later. I've already started some basic ideas on what I want to do with this, but I really want to get to work on connecting this platform to this floor. And I've been playing around with a build in survival, and I think I've got it. We've even moved the Cetrus, the attributes, and the core production to this side. More stuff's going to come over here to make it a lot closer, make it easier. But I've got some stuff kind of laid out, already getting started to make this look a little bit better. Artistic creativity is not necessarily one of my skills. And, you know, a lot of times I'll build something and I'll go back and I'll go, I'm not too thrilled with that. And I'll get people telling like, holy cow, it's amazing. But it's not my strength by any means. Sometimes I just get dumb lucky. And, you know, just by how many times I've rebuilt this, this will be like build 13 of my slime fun base, right? Even this was the initial build. I added a layer to the tower, by the way. This was just the initial build just to make a proof of concept. But the more I look at it, it needs some help. And so you can see it's not even consistent. I don't even have it layer to layer. It's not even consistent right now. So I have some more work to do on this. And we're going to keep working on everything. You know, you never really are done working on a slime fun base. That much is for sure. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this up here. We're going to let the base continue to run. I'm going to start putting together materials for the stairwells. I've got some it's labor intensive, nothing too over the top, but I've got some build ideas we're going to get started on, see how it looks in this actual world. And then from there, we're going to continue on. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Don't forget, when you're going slime fun, you got to go boomer or you got to go home. We'll see you later.